After the baby shower, I checked my phone. $35,000. Gone overnight. My cousin Danielle smiled. Just a little gift from you to me, she said. I grabbed my bag. Perfect. Now watch what happens next. Her face lost color as the door opened. The moment I saw the bank notification, my stomach dropped. $35,000. Gone. I stared at my screen, hoping it was a mistake. Maybe a glitch or someone hacked me. Hey, you okay? Danielle asked sweetly, sipping her mimosa, acting like nothing happened. I didn't say a word. I simply turned my phone toward her. She looked at the screen. Her smile stayed, but it turned cold. Oh, relax, she laughed. It's not that serious. Just a little gift from you to me. I blinked, trying to make sense of what she just said. My heart pounded. Excuse me? I asked. Danielle leaned forward, brushing invisible dust off her dress. You always say family should help each other, right? Well, I help myself. You're doing fine anyway. The party was still going on. People laughing, passing cupcakes, talking about babies. But I couldn't hear anything except the blood rushing in my ears. You stole from me, I said calmly. She rolled her eyes. Stole? Please. You're not exactly broke. I never gave you my account, I hissed. Oh, come on. She waved her hand. You sent money to the caterer last night, left your phone charging in my kitchen. I saw your PIN. 4 numbers. Real secure. She sipped her drink, smiling. Anyway, it's already spent. What now? You gonna cry? Make a scene? I stood up, grabbed my bag. Perfect, I said. Danielle's smile faded. Now watch what happens next. Right on cue, the door swung open. Her fiancé walked in, holding an envelope and a paper. He looked confused and upset. Danny, he said, why is there a transfer from your cousin's account to your PayPal that says refund baby gift scam? Danielle's face went pale. The room went quiet. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish. Babe, what are you talking about? She stammered, reaching for the paper. He stepped back. Don't, he said firmly. Don't lie. This isn't the first time family gifts have gone missing. A few guests gasped. Someone dropped a cupcake. Danielle's mom, Aunt Claire, rushed over. What's happening? She stole from me, I said, holding up my phone. She took $3,500 from my account after snooping on my phone. Claire turned to Danielle, shocked. Tell me this is a joke. Danielle straightened up. Everyone calmed down. I was going to pay her back. She wouldn't give it to me when I asked. When you asked. I laughed. You never asked. You just took it like always. Danielle turned to everyone. She's making a big deal out of nothing. She's bitter. She didn't even want to come today. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. You begged me to come. You sent that cute little invite with a note saying, it would mean so much if just this once you weren't selfish. Her jaw tightened. Oh, you didn't think I kept proof? I said, tapping my bag. Funny thing, I brought some. I pulled out a printed bank statement. Remember when you borrowed $1,200 for dental surgery? And $800 for rent when you lost your job? And $450 for the baby shower planner you fired because she wasn't aesthetic enough? Danielle started shaking. You said you were struggling, I continued. But guess what? You never lost your job. You just wanted a new couch. The room filled with whispers. Danielle's fiancé looked like he'd been punched in the gut. You lied to me about losing your job, I said. I was going to surprise you, Danielle mumbled. Then she looked at me, her voice getting louder. Why are you doing this? Because I'm done being your personal bank. And you can't talk your way out of this. She rolled her eyes, trying to act confident. Oh please. You live alone. No kids. No real life. What else are you gonna do with your money? Something inside me snapped. I stepped up onto the ottoman and raised my voice. You want to know what I was going to do? Maybe buy a house. Maybe travel. Maybe finally stop worrying how much of my paycheck you'd take next. The room went quiet. You know what's really funny? I asked. I've helped Danielle for years, with clothes, bills, even bailed her out of jail once. But it was never enough. When you give to someone who only takes, they don't say thank you. They just wonder why you didn't give more. Aunt Claire gasped. She's your cousin. I shook my head. No. She's my cousin who steals from me. I looked at the guests. And all of you sitting here cheering for her picture-perfect life. She built it with guilt, lies, and my money. Danielle snapped. You really think anyone cares about your little pity story? You're pathetic. Just because you pay your bills and post Instagram quotes doesn't mean you're better than me. I smiled coldly. No. But I am better than a 34-year-old who throws herself a baby shower with stolen money. Danielle tried to charge at me, but her fiancé stopped her. Enough, he said quietly. Just stop. Then he turned to me, his voice serious. Did she steal from anyone else? I froze. You mean, her parents? Friends? Me? I didn't want to say it, but I couldn't lie. I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. Danielle's face showed pure fear now. Her fiancé looked down at her like he finally saw the truth. You told me your grandma's pearls were stolen, he said. Did you pawn them? Danielle said nothing. You sold them, didn't you? A few people gasped. Some guests stood up and quietly left. Danielle screamed at me. Are you happy now? You ruined everything. I stepped down from the ottoman, grabbed my purse. Good, I said softly. Now maybe I can rebuild my life. I walked out, leaving behind Danielle, her fake smiles and her perfect little lies. I was halfway to my car when I heard her shout behind me. You think you won? This isn't over. You think I'm the only one who took your money? I froze. What does that mean? She stood on the porch, her makeup ruined, hair messy, holding her belly like that made her innocent. You think you're such a victim? She laughed bitterly. Maybe check who else has been in your pockets. My stomach twisted. What are you saying? She smirked even through the tears. Ask your mother. The words hit me like a punch. What? Ask your mom, Danielle repeated. Ask her what happened to that inheritance from Grandpa you never saw. Ask her what really paid for their home renovations. I couldn't breathe for a second. Then I turned and got in my car, not to drive away but to drive to my parents' house. The drive was a blur. I gripped the steering wheel so tight my hands hurt. When I got there, Mom was in the kitchen like it was any other day, sipping tea. Hey honey, she said without looking up. How was the baby shower? I dropped my bag on the floor, both hands on the table. Where's Dad? She blinked. What? Where? Is Dad? In the garage, I think. Why? You stole my inheritance. Her teacup stopped midair. What? You took the money Grandpa left me, didn't you? She put the cup down slowly. Oh, that money, she said carefully. Sweetheart, that was a family decision. We were struggling. You used my college fund to redo your bathroom and pay off Dad's credit card. You told me Grandpa didn't leave me anything. She didn't deny it. Instead, she folded her hands and gave me that same look from when I was a kid. The be quiet and behave look. You didn't need it, she finally said. You had a good job. Danielle was struggling. Your father's medicine was expensive. That money was mine. We're your family. No, I said coldly. You're a machine that uses people and feeds everything to Danielle. And I was just another source to drain. Just then Dad walked in from the garage. What's going on? He asked. I looked straight at him. You knew too, didn't you? He paused. His jaw tightened. We were just trying to help the family. With my money? I asked. He didn't answer. I let out a cold laugh. Wow. You all got really comfortable stealing from me, didn't you? We didn't steal, Mom snapped, her voice sharp. You're being dramatic. You're not some victim. You didn't need the money as much as we did. I reached into my bag and pulled out a folder. Inside were all my bank statements, proof of every withdrawal I never agreed to, and missing deposits. I dropped it on the table. You better hope this is all I find, I said. Because if I see you forged anything else. You wouldn't dare, Mom hissed. Oh, I would. My phone buzzed just then. A message from Danielle. Oops. Almost forgot. You might want to check your credit score again. My heart sank. I opened the app and saw it. New credit account opened. $15,000 approved yesterday. I tapped for details and froze. Cosigner, Margaret J.H. My mom. You opened a credit card in my name? I whispered. Yesterday. Mom blinked, then smiled sweetly. You're overreacting. It's just temporary. We needed it for the nursery. I repeated. For Danielle. She nodded. She's having a baby. She needs help. You committed identity theft. Mom sighed. It's family. You care more about money than doing your part. That was it. I pulled out my phone, hit record and pointed the camera at her. Say that again, I said. What are you doing? Mom snapped. Say it. About the credit card. About Danielle. Dad stepped forward. Turn that off. I didn't move. Either you pay it back tonight, I said, or I go to the police tomorrow. You wouldn't. Try me. The room was dead silent. Then a voice came from the hallway. It was Danielle's fiancé. He stood there holding Danielle's phone. I saw her messages, he said. The ones to your mom. The ones about using you before the baby's born. I thought she was joking. He walked over and placed the phone on the table. She wasn't. He looked at me. I'm done with her. And if you want to take this further, I'll help. I stared at him shocked. Why are you here? I followed Danielle home after the shower. She was drunk, ranting. When she passed out, I read everything. He turned to my parents. She told you the baby's yours, didn't she? That you'd be the godparents? That you'd be part of it forever. Mom didn't answer. She was never going to pay you back, he added. She's been using all of you. I hesitated. What about the baby? I asked. He swallowed. It's not mine. Silence filled the room. What? Mom gasped. She cheated on me, he said calmly. I saw it all in her messages. She planned to move in with you, use your daughter for money, then disappear once the baby came. He turned to me. I read everything. The lies, the money, the plans. Danielle said, and I quote, she's too soft to fight back. I couldn't speak. After all these years, it was finally all out in the open. Mom jumped up. We didn't know. She told us. You signed a credit card in my name, I interrupted. That's a crime. Mom looked panicked. But I kept talking. Relax though. I'm not sending you to jail. Their faces turned pale. I hired a lawyer. In 72 hours I filed a lawsuit against Danielle and Mom for fraud, theft, and unauthorized use of my accounts. Danielle sent messages, voice notes, crying emojis, long texts saying, please, we're family. It was just a mistake. I ignored her. But my lawyer didn't. We got access to Danielle's bank records. And what did we find? A $3,800 Chanel purse. A $1,500 deposit for a leased Tesla. A $600 VIP mom-to-be club membership. And $20,000 wired to a foreign account. She wasn't struggling. She wasn't panicking. She was planning her escape with my money. When her lawyer got the lawsuit, Danielle freaked out. First she blamed Mom. Then her ex. Then even me, saying my coldness forced her to do it. That's when I sent my final message, through my lawyer. Pay back every cent. Or I press criminal charges. A week later the money arrived. $8,117.49, bank refunds. $35,000, stolen credit card funds. $2,000, for emotional damages. I didn't even need court. The moment Danielle realized I wasn't scared anymore, she folded. My mom, she tried to deny it, said the same old lines. We raised you. You owe us. We didn't mean any harm. I gave her one choice. Pay off the credit card she opened in my name and never ask me for money again. If she broke that deal, I'd go to the police. She paid. No more guilt trips. No more poor us stories. They got caught, simple as that. As for Danielle, within a month she started selling everything. The baby furniture, the stroller, the crib. Her lease ended. Her fiancé left her. Her parents wouldn't let her move back in. Because for once I didn't come to my mom's rescue. She had to face the daughter she turned into the villain, and now I wasn't the victim anymore. I was the storm. I moved to a new city, took a break, picked up painting again. For the first time in years I wasn't scared to check my bank account. I wasn't worried about who was going to ask for money next. I was finally living. 2 months later, Danielle's ex-fiancé messaged me. Thank you. If you hadn't exposed her, I'd still be stuck in that mess. You saved me. I hope you're finally doing something just for you. I smiled at my screen because I was. But healing wasn't instant. The day Danielle paid me back, life didn't magically fix itself. Healing is slow. It's small, quiet choices, like ignoring phone calls I used to answer out of guilt. Like finally saying no to people who only call when they need something. But it all started with one truth. I wasn't crazy. I was being drained. For years I thought maybe I was the problem. Too distant, too strict with my money, too protective of my time. But now I see it clearly, I wasn't broken. I was surrounded by people who liked me better when I doubted myself. Danielle. My mom. Even my dad with his silence. They didn't love me for who I was. They loved me for what I did for them. I was their safety net, their fixer, their personal ATM. Not anymore. I live in a smaller place now, but it's mine. Sunlight fills my apartment every morning. I have a corner where I paint again. Something I gave up for years because Danielle always had some new crisis. I joined a book club. Started cooking. I even went on a date with a guy who didn't ask me what I do for work, but what I love to do. I told him the truth. It felt good. The heavy feeling in my chest? Gone. Sometimes I still get texts from relatives. You should talk to your mom. Life's short. Danielle's struggling. Can't you forgive her? Family is everything. I don't answer. Because here's the truth people avoid. Family that only loves you when you're useful isn't family. They're just debt collectors with your last name. A moment sticks with me. About 2 weeks after Danielle paid me back, I got a letter from my grandmother's sister. We were never close. She always sat quietly at family events, knitting, watching everything. The letter said, I saw what they did to you. I wish I had spoken up sooner. They did the same thing to your aunt. She never recovered. But you broke the cycle. I'm proud of you. I cried, not from sadness but because finally someone saw me. Not as selfish. Not as cold. But as brave. Danielle's life fell apart quickly. Word got out. Her Instagram, once full of baby bump posts and fake happiness, went quiet. Friends stopped defending her. She disappeared from group chats. Last I heard she moved in with someone new. But I don't hate her anymore. Hate takes energy and I've given her enough. My mom? She hasn't called in weeks. The last thing I said to her was, I forgive you, but you don't get access to me anymore. Forgiveness doesn't mean everything goes back to how it was. It means, I let go of the anger, of the pain, and of you. The biggest surprise? How peaceful life feels when no one's draining you. How light your chest feels when you're not constantly rescuing people who would ruin your credit without blinking. How good it feels to check your phone and not brace for bad news. I used to think loving family meant losing myself. Being the strong one, the one who never says no. Not anymore. Now I walk away without explaining myself. I protect my peace like it's gold, because it is. If you've ever been called selfish for saying no, if your kindness has been used against you, if your money, time, or love has been taken for granted, let me say this clearly. You're not selfish. You're not cold. You're just tired. And you have every right to stop bleeding for people who won't even hand you a bandage. They used to call me selfish. Now they call me gone. And honestly, that's the most peaceful name I've ever had.